is exactly how everyone should be awakened in Venice, with a gondolier below their hotel window and breakfast waiting downstairs in the courtyard. After breakfast, we would board a boat to head north of Venice, past the cemetery island of San Matteo, to Murano, an island of the Venetian Lagoon dedicated to the art of glassmaking. From Murano, we would head further north to visit Burano, a smaller island memorable for its colorful houses and lace making. Another boat would take us to the pastoral island of Torchello to visit a medieval church and its beautiful gardens. Tonight we return to the main island for dinner and a romantic gondola ride around the moonlit canals of Venice. This is Venice and the Lagoon Islands, Murano, Burano, and Torcello on day 4 of our 12-day tour across northern and central Italy. We had no idea that we would be awakened by serenading operatic tenors and accordions in the gondolas that passed by in the canal below our hotel window. It was memorable. We enjoyed breakfast in the courtyard of our hotel before venturing out into the narrow streets. We waited at St. Mark's Landing for a water bus to take us to Murano. We watched gondoliers navigating the windy waters. We boarded the boat with others for the 10-minute ride across the lagoon to the island of Murano. After landing, we walked along the Rio de Vetrai, past furnaces along the Glassmakers Canal. Today we wanted to explore as much of the island as we could in the time we had here. Murano is actually a cluster of 7 islands joined by bridges and canals. It's a popular destination for visitors to Venice. At the end of the 13th century, the main island of Venice was composed mostly of wooden buildings. Fearing a fire, the rulers of the Republic forced all the glassmakers to move their furnaces to Murano. Murano has been a center of quality glassmaking ever since. 3 years earlier, we visited a glass foundry and joined a group of Italian school children, learning the art of glassmaking from a Murano master. Glassmaking in Murano is an art and skill that's passed down from father to son. It's been that way for centuries. After finding a gelateria on Murano's Grand Canal, we took a less crowded water bus another 30 minutes farther north in the lagoon, this time to the island of Burano. Burano is most memorable for its colorful houses, a tradition that supposedly originates from its days as a fishing village. Returning fishermen could easily identify their house from afar by its color. We bought handmade masks. We shopped for glass. When we were here before, we had searched for a glass orca well without success. Not knowing how to say killer whale in Italian, I showed one shopkeeper a picture and he sat down to fashion one for us. In a gelateria, we saw a sign that said crepes. We knew we would have to share one. The women were friendly and knew a little English.
We speak Italiano, Veneto, dialetto, French. You make a video?
Yeah.
Hi! Chocolate shop!
When we saw the first crepe with Nutella, gelato, and chocolate syrup, we knew we each had to have our own.
Prego.
Burano's bell tower leans on the soft island foundation. We listened to it chime out the hour as children played in the streets below. We explored narrow back streets and gardens of this beautiful island. The last island to explore, Torchello, came late in the day as the sun was preparing to set. A lazy cat greeted us at the island landing. Torchello is sparsely populated and known for its gardens, vineyards, greenery, and open spaces. At the time of day we arrived, we saw only a few people here. We walked along the main narrow canal from the Vaporetto landing, passing small bed and breakfasts and the Devil's Bridge, which had no railings or walls. At the end of our walk, we arrived at the Basilica of Santa Maria Assunta, one of the most ancient buildings of the Venetian Lagoon. Its construction is said to have started in the 7th century, when the settlement here was similar in size to Venice. The Byzantine church was closed by the time we arrived, and we weren't able to see the mosaics inside. We enjoyed the vineyards, statuaries, and gardens outside. As the sun lowered, a private boat landed near the church with 10 men, who set out wine glasses and plates of cheese to watch the soon-to-set sun over the lagoon. We headed back to Venice on the Vaporetto. Back on the main island, we enjoyed dinner together in a trattoria. We found a gondolier who took us for a tour at dusk around the narrow streets of Venice. This was our last night in Venice. Tomorrow we leave for Rome.